Ladies and gentlemen, the Union flag is raised, and so the Lombard London-Sydney Marathon of 1993 is about to get underway. We're ready for the off. 15 seconds, 10, and counting 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, and away they go. Wish them bon voyage, ladies and gentlemen. Andrew Cowan, Johnston Sire in the Hillman Hunter, #1, starting at 18:01.
It's 2.5 years in the making. It's been a tremendous amount of good fun, a fantastic amount of aggravation. We've had route changes, we've had politics, we've had just about everything they can throw at us, but here we are at Chelsea Harbour 2.5 years later. It's not a World Championship rally, this is not the East African Safari, it's not the Monte Carlo, it's not the RAC, but it is the definitive great motoring adventure in the last 25 years.
In 1968, a band of motoring adventurers blazed the first ever trail from London to Sydney.
Ahead lay 10,000 road miles.
They drove non-stop, night and day. 25 years on, they're spinning the globe again. 106 teams of 2 in cars dating back to the 50s and 60s, all lovingly restored, all fine-tuned for another journey of another lifetime.
Who had forged
it was a different sort of event. It was all about endurance and stamina, and our route instructions in those days were be at Kabul by 10 o'clock, and you just drove night and day, and you got there. There were no competitive special stages back in '68. What we've done is made the road element of the event a lot easier, but the actual competitive element of the event, the special stages, a lot tougher.
Well, it's 11,500 miles in approximately 3 weeks. Yes, it's hard work. We're not allowed service, so we've got to look after the car. Otherwise, you know, we're going to spend hours on the road fettling ourselves, so it's going to be difficult.
In 1968, the same car was 17th at the end, so when we get 16th, it's perfect, but when you get there, even when it's the 50th place, it's fantastic.
I can't wait to get started, and I think it's going to be fantastic to see if we can actually finish it this time, because I had a fairly colourful and definitive finish last time.
What happened last time?
Hit a very, very large truck in Iran on a high mountain pass, and it was very conclusive.
We've been historic rallying now for about 3 years, and we heard of it a couple of years ago, and it's been a dream. I wanted to go on the first one, but I was still at school, but yeah. It's a big adventure.
Fantastic, yeah, fantastic. I think we're lucky, those that are going, to be able to do it.
We're going to have a very tough competitive event, but there's going to be a lot of fun. This is really the spirit of the 60s coming back again. In the 60s we used to compete hard and have fun, and that's what we're setting out to do this time around.
And 25 years on, there are 25 cars, drivers and navigators from the original event. The winner in '68, Andrew Cowan, is back in the same machine.
The interest that people took in the event was unbelievable. The crowds that came out. India, you couldn't drive on the roads. I mean, there were so many people. And then again in Australia, I mean, the outback of Australia, we'd never seen, and you know, we've seen quite a lot of it since, but it's a marvellous country.
Is this the greatest rally of them all?
Well, of its type, yes, I think it is. There's no doubt about it.
The road to Sydney is 10,500 miles long. It winds through Europe and into Asia through Turkey. Using 2 giant Antonov planes, the world's biggest airlift should take them to India for 5 days of heat and dust. Then it's a flight to Western Australia and the challenge of the raw and wild outback. The dirt highways of the Nullarbor Desert. After 8 days, the final chorus will be on the steps of the Opera House. As for the teams, there are husbands and wives, sons and fathers, dads with their daughters, and they've come from all over the world. Some, such as one-time British rally ace Roger Clark, have come to drive fast to win, and some have come for the fun. But all are here for an adventure.
Well, I wanted to do it in 1968, but I had quite a large family, 4 children, and I thought, well, if anything happened to me, I really ought to be at home. So I didn't. And when this came along, I thought, well, second opportunity, I must take it.
It's a long way, 12,000 miles.
Well, my hometown is Sydney, so it's one way of getting there. And the family are waiting to welcome us.
And don't mind me asking, but I mean, I think you're probably the oldest person on the rally, aren't you?
I think so. I'm 66, and just after we arrive, I'm saying arrive, I'll be 67 on the 24th of May.
And you're in the oldest car?
Yes, 40 years old. It was born, I've forgotten what month, but 1953.
Are you both going to make it?
Certainly. I have a brilliant rally driver, the driver, Barry, and I'm tough.
Rolls-Royce is a car that I've been driving for some time in rallies, and it's done 6 rallies in Australia. Nothing like the London-Sydney, of course. And it's one of the early model Corniches. It's a convertible, so if the sun shines, we can get a suntan on the way. But also, maybe the ridiculous way of doing it.
How much petrol are you going to use?
Well, we worked it out in United States dollars, and we thought about 8,000 United States dollars worth.
So how many miles to the gallon do you get out of this?
Probably around 7.5 miles to the gallon. But it is downhill all the way if you look at the glow.
It's going to be different this time to last time. Last time was non-stop, 3 drivers, very, very tiring. This is going to be hopefully a lot more enjoyable. We'll be able to see some scenery. Actually, I can't even remember what happened last time. But
it's great fun. I mean, you don't get the chance to do these things very often in life.
We're fed up with the recession. This is antidote to the recession. We'll come back, we'll all be over. So we've been promised, haven't we?
Yeah.
Lunacy.
We must be mad.
Yeah, we've got a long history of rallying in the family, and we got into it a bit late. But we thought it's a good idea. Great spirit, this rally. Great spirit. Everyone helps everyone, and we've had so many problems with old Bronco Billy here. That,
Bronco Billy, that's the car, is it?
Yeah. She's been backfiring a lot recently, so we decided to call her Bronco. So you've got to have a name, haven't you?
Yeah, you've got to have a name, and it's
Caught
a good
fire
name.
4 days ago. The window fell out 3 days ago. The Speedo's packed up this morning, driving from Hammersmith to here, 3 miles. So we've had all the bad luck now, so we're going to...
So you can't go wrong
Nothing
from here.
else.
That's our belief. Think positively.
The Volvo's proving so reliable, we thought we won't take any spares, we'll just look after our own creature comforts, and so we thought, well, we better take a sink with us. You never know what the facilities are going to be when you get there. So that's it, we've brought the kitchen sink.
You're going to have some fun, obviously.
Definitely going to have some fun. You've got to have some fun on this event because it's costing so much money, so much effort got into it. We've got to enjoy it now. We're going to be fast as well.
With the kitchen sink on top?
Well, yes, we think we've got about a second a mile on some of the fast stages now because it tends to turn in a lot better now with the downdraft on the car.
It's aerodynamic, is it?
Oh, we've had Williams develop it for us. Actually, it came off Mansell's last year's car and we've built it onto this and it's going very well. But everyone seems to think it's kitchen sink. It's not, it's the spoiler.
From Chelsea Harbour, it's straight on to Westminster and Big Ben. The first of the special stages is Boomerang, who'll come back fastest. Terry Hunter in the Porsche is flying. The 2 men in the Morgan are on the track as well. But the wheels of fortune are going the wrong way for Jerry Lister's Volvo. If you think he had problems, wait till you hear from Pete Woodward of Car 101.
Well, we came over a yump pretty fast and we grounded it, and where we've grounded, actually, we've thrown up a few stones, and one of the stones has gone up and jammed in between the fan and the rad, and it's spun round, and of course it's damaged the radiator. So now we've got about 6 holes in the rad. We've sent it out, we're looking for another one at the breakers now, and also this one here, and I'm just putting some araldite on the holes just in case we can't get another one. I mean, we'll get the ferry one way or another, even if it's a later one.
And all 106 cars make it eventually to the first port of call. Next stop, Calais and France. There's only 150 kilometres on the clock, but some are already suffering. George Reynolds can't get his Beetle to fire. So it's just as well he knows a man who can. From Calais, it's a straight road, Louberge, Arnique, Cassel. And then it's into Belgium for the first night at Ypres. The market square is full of people. It'll soon be overflowing with the marathon. But for some, there's no chance of an early night. Remember Car 101? They've had more problems.
We came up behind a Frenchman and we thought he was drunk, swerving around in the middle of the road. And I said to Pete, hold back and let's watch him. And he slowed down and he slowed down and he stopped blocking the road. He made it quite clear that we weren't going to get past him. He then reached down in the car somewhere and came out with what appears to have been a knife. We've never met this man before. We don't think we offended him unless he doesn't like either British cars or British people. And when he started walking towards us, threatening us with this knife, we didn't hang around. Pete put the car in reverse, went back fairly quickly, turned round, and we waited for the AA. On the basis this constituted roadside assistance.
And for the AA boys, their marathon is off and running.
Well, the bad luck continues. She broke a Halder cable, and then she broke an alternator arms that they ought to stay, which tensions the alternator. We welded that up, and we find mysteriously now we lost all our electrics. So we're in a bit of a quandary. I mean, we're all these experts here, and you know the amateur here. We can't sort it.
In daylight, there's even more repairs to be done. The patient Car 103.
Bit of over-exuberance, bit of horrible gravel on the road, and a bit of overcorrection. We just happened to hit a bank at the wrong time.
And you landed up on the roof?
Well, we landed up on our side.
You okay?
So, yeah, we're fine. Yeah, we're fine. As long as the car's fine, we're not hurt at all. Just a bit of pride, that's all.
At just after 8, it's time for stage 2, Zonnebeck. Leading by just 4 seconds is Graham Lorimer. He's fastest again on a cold and grey morning. The margin this time, just 1 second. From Belgium to Germany and the vineyards of Oberemmel. Lovely scenery, but can the drivers take it in?
Oh, all the time. I don't do anything else.
I
like the trees. Did you notice the larch and the spruce? They were absolutely terrific.
The big difference, racing, you come off, lovely area, grass, sand. Here you come off, that's it.
Yeah, you've got to keep it on the island.
It really is.
You can't afford to make any mistakes. We're not even 10% of the amount of driving yet. So, a lot of people fell off yesterday.
And you got yourself in the top 10 now.
Yes, we seem to be lying 8th for some extraordinary reason. Yes, I think it was this third. I found this small pedal to the right of the other two. I think it must be something to do with that.
You go faster, do you?
Well, it seems to when you press it, yes.
Terry Hunter must have found the right pedal too in his Porsche. He's driving into day 3 as leader. A second faster here, he'll be 18 seconds ahead by the night.
And this is the leader's cap that you wear every day, is it?
It's correct, apparently.
The green cap.
So I'm told.
Yeah.
Yes, you like that, do you?
Yeah, very good. So in cycling they have the yellow shirt, in racing the green hat.
The green hat, yes, the green moe hat. No, it's, yeah, very pleased, very pleased.
Why did you want to do this again after all this time?
That's a good question. I don't know. I think I enjoyed the event last time. We broke down in Kabul in Afghanistan last time, and I think I felt that I'd like to have another go.
And right behind Terry Hunter is Graham Lorimer. His co-driver is Gary Smith, a late substitute. It should have been one Mr. Mark Thatcher.
Mark was going to help out with me, yes.
Would he have found the right way? Because he's got a bit of a reputation for getting lost.
But he knows where Sydney is. He's been there before.
And how are you going? Because you were one of the early leaders.
We led at the end of the first day, and we dropped to second yesterday, which we're quite comfortable with. It's a long way to Sydney, it really is. We're quite happy with second place at the moment.
Further down the field, the adventure is rolling in fast. Max Harvey's got a story to tell already.
Quite exciting so far. The steering wheel fell off just outside London.
Fell off?
Yeah. We had some vibration on the front, and it just rattled the the screws loose on there and it came off. Well, we sorted that all right. And
But while you were going, or?
yeah, while we were going along the motorway.
So what did you do?
Well, we stopped quite quickly.
Can man here defend the fashion? Is this where you wash your hands?
He usually pours it all over his lap.
Just
He reckons he's weed himself.
It's just run down.
Keeps him awake though, I think, that.
So we get those nice and wet.
Cold water in the nether regions.
That helps us get some grip on the wheel.
In car 87, there's John Hills and Trevor Chivers.
Born in England, lived in Australia, like English cars, right? Don't like the Aussies unless they win, because they don't like us. So we got an each-way bet on.
I like the bowler.
Yeah, well, that bowler has got a bit of a story attached to it, because everywhere we do a little bit of rallying, we haven't done much, I always wear the bowler.
So it's a lucky hat, is it?
I would say it's a lucky hat, because we don't normally win.
If it's Tuesday, it must be Austria.
Fünf, 4, 3, 2, and up!
The Castle approves the next special stage. Roger Clark's in good form. Sidney Dixon's Rambler rattles across the bridge. But there's a shock around the corner for marathon leader Terry Hunter.
I'm not very good on wood. It was a wooden bridge. We've got plenty of practice of tarmac and the loose, but unfortunately not a lot of practice on wood. And I put too much power in and too soon and the back came out, as you saw. And it fishtailed and we put the front two wheels over the edge of the bridge. We were very lucky, actually.
Were you worried?
I didn't have time to be worried. It was just very grateful that it didn't go over the edge into the river. And the locals were brilliant. We were very lucky. No damage to the car at all, which is amazing, really.
What about driver and co-driver?
Hurt pride. I've lost the lead, which peeves me quite a bit. But it's a long way to go. And we dropped about 2 minutes on that one, which puts us somewhere way down. I don't know where, but it was just a shame. Peter was having a hard time, I think. You know.
I was scared senseless.
Did you see much of it, or did you have your head down?
No. I was fully awake, waiting to start practicing my breaststroke or whatever. But it must be worse for Terry because he can't swim.
A broken number plate is their only repair. But in Bratislava, anything and everything can be mended, thanks to the generosity of the Skoda works. Nothing is too much trouble. There are mechanics to help out too. And there's plenty to be done. Doing their own thing are the husband and wife team of Peter and Mary Hall.
I didn't want to be sat at home and just hearing about it on the television. I wanted to see for myself. And I wanted to make sure that he got to Sydney this time because he didn't get there last time.
25 years ago, we broke down with the clutch gone just 200 miles from the finish.
200 miles?
9,800 miles we did out of 10,000. So this time we have to take it a little bit more steady and get there.
You must have felt a bit sick, what, 25 years ago, did you?
More than a bit, yeah, a lot. I mean, we're supposed to be taking it steady this time, but I'm getting told off because Mary thinks I'm going too quick anyway, so we'll have to see.
The kindness and the welcome in Slovakia couldn't be warmer. School children and students have been given the morning off to watch the marathon. On day 5, Graham Lorimer is back into the lead. He's 8 seconds ahead of Francis Tuthill. Colin Short is 3rd, Terry Daly 4th and Clark 5th. Only 2.5 minutes separates the top 10. The road from Bratislava, from Slovakia to Hungary to Szeged, is a sandy one. What a car park by the banks of the Danube. All 106 vehicles are ready to tackle day 6. 3 countries and 800 kilometres today: Hungary, Romania and Bulgaria. The Romanian roads are supposed to be bad. Watch out for the lorries is the warning. No one mentioned the sheep though. Roger Clark goes roaring on, but further down the field there's the first casualty. It's the Rolls-Royce of Tony Wilson.
I've got an ordinary condenser, there's been no issue with it.
Stops by the side of the road and you let it cool down for 5 or 10 minutes and it's off like a rocket again. Perfect. And then it can go 5 miles or 45 miles or maybe even 150 miles, and then it's intermittent and it stops. And you let it cool down and off it goes again.
Next problem is trying to read the road signs in Bulgaria. There's an upset on the special stage too. Roger Clark runs out of petrol and loses 7 minutes and 31 places.
Everything indicated that we got between 20 and 30 litres of fuel on board, and about a kilometre before the end. Roger says it was 100 metres. I ran it, I know how far it was. Roger says it was 100 metres. It just died on us. And of course the only thing to do was to get out the stage and try and find some fuel, which fortunately I did.
A full tank is needed to tackle Istanbul and the rush hour. Some cars get lost here and hire a taxi to take them in for the night. At the gateway to Asia, there's no change in the lead. It's a battle between Lorimer and Tuthill. 31 seconds is the gap. In the hills above Istanbul on day 8 comes the first casualty. The Dutch team of brothers Jan and Gert Vermeer crash on a special stage. Their DAF is wrecked. Thankfully, they're both okay.
I'm fine. I think I got a little bit of a concussion because I feel a bit dizzy, but otherwise completely all right.
Can you remember what happened at all?
No, I don't know anything about it. The only thing I know is my brother told me that I had a sort of blackout or something. I mean, it must have been because I went straight on and I pulled the gas instead of braking, so something must have been wrong. I don't know.
And I shout to him, go to the left, but after a certain seconds he was, well, we're going straight ahead. And turn around, turn around, turn around. We are standing now here and he was still sitting in a chair like this. And after, I think, 4 or 5 minutes, he was wake up again and say, well, let's go on. I said, let's go on. Well, so he had to completely black out. It's, I don't know why, but it's happened.
And that's the end of the journey for you?
I think it is, yes. Look at that, and it's not possible to repair. No, I think it's the end.
As the Vermeer brothers head for home, the rally drives on to Erzurum and back. Two long days, 2,000 kilometres. Too far for some, too much, say others. Too bumpy for everyone.
I should think it's done about 2 years worth of damage to the car. I mean, it's sheared bolts off, which are that thick.
Why your brain wasn't working?
That's right. That's my excuse, yeah. No, it's just a very hard group. I mean, the roads are terrible. The one, did you go over the one on the mountain with the cobbles? Oh, we had to go down about 10 miles an hour. I haven't got any fittings left in my...
still in?
Well, yeah, some, but not
many.
many.
There is a dentist here somewhere.
I hope so. No, really, really rough.
The 12th night of the marathon will be up in the air.
All the bloody rumours that you lot have been spreading about everybody are wrong. There are 2 aeroplanes, all right? That's the first thing. Now, the procedure here is very, very simple. Once you get to where the front car is now, only one person in the car and no hand baggage, and no foodstuffs.
Well, you can see 2 aeroplanes out there, 2 of the world's largest cargo planes, which have been specially double-decked for us. We're going to load 110 motor cars into those aeroplanes. I've been working at it for 2 years. This is the realization of a dream, or part of it.
Has this been done before?
Never.
First time ever?
First time
So
ever.
next stop, New Delhi, India.
Yep. When you see the back of these Antonovs open to reveal a double-decking system, that's the first time it's ever been seen in the world, and they built it for us.
Well, this is amazing. I mean, this is a new rallying experience. It really is. Never seen anything like it.
You've never been on a special stage on a plane before?
Well, I understand that the whole of that cage system inside has been built for this event. And it's so narrow when you're in there. I mean, it looks narrow from here. But when I got parked, it was also very dark in there. When I got parked, I thought, how do I get out of this? I couldn't open the doors. And I had to climb through the window and sort of up the scaffolding like a monkey and get out that way. And I think everybody's having to do the same.
Best part of the rally?
Oh, it's a great experience, yes.
Cars and teams fly by night. Daybreak is in New Delhi. The good news, there's a day off. The bad news, India is having a heatwave. The marathon, though, never rests. 12 days, 9 countries and 4,000 miles has taken its toll. There's work to be done, rattles to find, and even engines to rebuild. In India, everything and anything is possible.
We got towed from the airport in Delhi into the Australian Embassy, and so we parked the car at the Australian Embassy and stripped it there. Spoke to the embassy staff, they found this place for us, and here you've got these guys working in primitive conditions, but they're rebuilding engines.
Fantastic. It's all a shambles, but it works. Whatever country you're in, you've just got to stop at any garage and they're on you. What can we do? How can we help? And here it's just fabulous. This chap has been doing all the work on the manifold for me and getting the cooling system worked out right. That's going to be one of the big problems here, is to keep the old girl cool.
Now you tell me, is there any problem in your car?
With the problem in the car, I have a gearbox with a crack.
Yeah.
They've taken me in a taxi and I've been here and here and here to 4 different places and they can't weld it. I need a really good welder.
The answer is always yes. Can you fix this? Yes. And then they look at it. Maybe it's the brakes or you're having the spark plugs changed or something more serious like welding up the suspension. They always say yes, and then they think about it, and then they come back and ask you some questions, and then off they go and get stuck in. It's really quite remarkable.
Well, maybe I'm one of those crazies. He's not resting unless he's playing with his toys. It's what you'd normally find me doing on a Saturday and Sunday back home anyway, playing around with an MG.
They make just Taj Mahal for the heart.
The lucky ones have given themselves a day off to see the sights.
Is it called Southern Gate of Taj Mahal? Name of that gate, Labour Colony.
Once the home move is in the can, it's on with the rally. Onto the roads with the camels, the carts, the lorries and the people.
The roads are something else. They really are. It's one huge traffic jam. It just does not stop. The trucks are huge and many of them. It's quite exciting. You can't relax for 1 second. It really is. You've got to be on your toes all the time.
The only thing, of course, camels go so slow that when you're catching something up, if you see it's a camel, you know it's going dead slow and you've got to get right down to get round it. But how long does it take a camel to do a mile? I mean, they must set off weeks to get to Delhi, mustn't they? Take them a hell of a time.
The drive to the hill station town of Shimla is long, hot and hard. The dreaded Delhi belly is struck too. There are still some takers though for the banquet and ball, which has been laid on by the locals. Missing the party, Australia's top team. They're cooking up their own winning route.
Got a choice tonight of mushroom or mushroom?
Well, we thought we'd reduce some of the things that can go wrong in the rally, and one of the things that can go wrong in the rally is getting Delhi belly. So we thought in the more risky countries we'd eat freeze-dried food and cook it up here in the room. We're missing out on some of the local flavour, and I do like curries and Indian food, but I can leave that until I get home.
Calories and cars are burning the next day as the rally roars south. The British team of Francis Tuthill and Anthony Scholl take their Porsche further into the lead, but it's getting hotter and hotter.
50.
50?
Yeah, 50. And they were just saying inside the hotel now that Delhi is the hottest place in the world today. In the world today. And a lot of cars and a lot of people have suffered.
We're back. It's lovely. It's just lovely. Very long, hot day.
There's no washing away everyone's heat exhaustion. Pam Durham has had to be carried to bed.
I've had some special, whatever it is, put the salt back in your body. I might send for some food. They tell me I should eat, so I don't know what I want to eat, mind you. But,
No regrets?
Oh, goodness, no. No, it can happen to anyone. And quite a few people have been suffering.
In the morning, the sun is boiling again.
That's good.
I've never been sitting in a tin like this, ever. I think it's doing me well. I'm losing pounds. Losing pounds.
Good for the figure.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I should be about 22 years younger when I get to Sydney.
Much better than yesterday. We're well prepared. We've got wet
towels.
Towels.
Yeah.
We wet them every time, and we put the whatever it is.
Rug on the roof.
The rug on the roof. But we're still mad dogs and Englishmen out in the noonday sun. Be stupid. And where's the train?
2 minutes away, I'm told, by Indian time.
2 minutes Indian time. Oh, I've gone to 103.
end of the road in Jodhpur, there's rest, an oasis of coolness and comfort at the palace of the local Maharaja, who just happens to be a car enthusiast.
A pucker, old P2, mate. Lovely.
A windover body.
Pucker, old P2.
Oh, really?
A windover body. You see? A man who knows.
What's written? What's written?
At least a man who reads.
Has it got an engine? That's the other.
You never know.
Isn't he a clever lad? Can we have a look at the engine?
Yes, sir, absolutely.
We've had a couple of rallies come through before, and but I think this is the most exciting. It's very interesting to meet people from all over the place, and I think I like the whole theme that, unlike other things which are highly sponsored and with teams of mechanics, here you've got regular people driving their own cars, doing their own thing.
Is it something you'd like to try one day?
Well, yes, if I
Take one of these cars.
One of these cars, then it had to be a sort of you have to reverse the date a bit, I think.
With cars and competitors refueled, it's south to Udaipur. A long route, roads are closed. Villages are stopping for the day to watch the rally. There are some things in India, though, that never stop. Leading the marathon still, despite the delay, are Francis Tuthill and Anthony Scholl. After 18 days, they're just 8 seconds ahead of New Zealander Graham Lorimer. There's only 10 minutes separating the top 10 cars. But the rest of the road is full of troubles and tragedies. 2 pedestrians are killed in crashes. British navigator Basil Wadman collapses with heat exhaustion and dies 2 days later. What price? Adventure now. Australian author Evan Green, who's competing in the event with his son Gavin, drove in the first run to Sydney and has been on more rallies, more marathons than anyone.
The death of a competitor is awful. When someone dies, even if it can be described as an ordinary road accident, it's still a shocking thing. It's someone you know, someone who shares things with you. But you can accept it because everyone who takes part in an event that is inherently dangerous, I mean, motorsport's dangerous, you know that, you accept the risk. So if something happens to a competitor, you say, well, that's terrible, but it's always possible. When spectators are hurt or killed, then it really worries you because they shouldn't be hurt. That's a worrying thing. But mind you, driving down the highways in India, you see so many accidents where people obviously have been either seriously hurt or killed that you realise it's just a fact of life here. I mean, we are much more disturbed by the incidents involving spectators than the Indians are. To them, it happens. And driving from Udaipur to Bombay, one of the other contestants who has an analytical mind worked out that there was a major accident in which obviously someone had died every 17 kilometres in a journey of, well, almost every 10 miles in a journey of 500. And you've got to consider that. I mean, there are a huge number of accidents here because the roads are so crowded, because essentially of the speed differential. You've got people walking, pulling carts, you've got bullocks, you've got camels, and you've got trucks, and you've got buses, and you've got us. I mean, the differences in speed are without parallel. There's no other road system in the world that has such a mixture of traffic, and inevitably, people are going to get hurt.
And the road to Bombay is one long crash course on driving in India.
Well, there's 2 trucks come straight at us. We've jammed on the brakes, right? And then the bus has gone woofo. We've had to get out of the road. And
You're okay, yeah?
yeah, we're both okay. We're brand new. Mate, we'll get it going. We're going to give it a cruise while it's over.
check the oil, and we'll get it back on the wheels and get it going.
You're never going to get going again.
Yes, we will. We'll get that. It's a Holden. Yeah, we're going to give it a grease and oil change now while it's over. Maybe do a wheel alignment, we'll be there. That's all right, we'll get there.
We'll be there, don't worry.
Talking of wheel alignments, old Bronco Billy has broken down again.
Do you like the wrist section? This is the first puncture we've had. Yonks! No, well, first wheel we've had a show.
Just need to smack with a hammer
Yeah,
straight
just
in the
smack-
skin, really.
Smack that out.
Very subtle technical engineering.
Luckily went underneath the subject.
How's that?
The tour of India comes to an end in Bombay. 94 cars have made it, 12 casualties so far. The Rolls-Royce has given up the ghost. Overheating's the problem, but before they can leave, every car has to be put under the grill to be steam cleaned.
The Australian quarantine is very, very strict, and if there's a spot of dirt on it, they'll impound them in Perth and they'll go and do it all over again. For example, the Indian acacia got into Australia accidentally years ago, and it's a pest. It's very, very thorny, and it's that style of thing they're trying to keep out.
Talking of steam, one of the South African crews has been feeling the heat.
The co-driver was complaining today that the seat was getting hotter and hotter and hotter. And about 2 o'clock this afternoon, the inside of the cabin filled up with smoke and the seat ignited. So we had the screaming halt. Sam jumped out the door and the seat went up in flames. And I mean, that is temperatures ridiculous inside a motor car, yeah.
So how did you put it out?
Well, we had some drinking water with us. We weren't going to waste the fire extinguishers. So we took a couple of litres of our drinking water, doused the seat, doused Sam, put him back in the seat, and off we went again.
He's all right now, is he?
Yeah, he's all right. He's sitting in the room. He's been sitting in the water, actually. His backside's quite red, to be honest with you. Very red.
It's the early hours of Friday morning, May 7th, when the Antonovs touch down in Perth. On board 94 cars, the survivors. Only 12 have been lost across Europe and India. A few hours later come the competitors. Are they looking forward to Australia? I reckon they are. The welcome was worth waiting for too. The pipes and drums are out. Well, after all, we are near Perth. The streets of Fremantle are lined with people. The sun is shining and God's country is smiling on the marathon. But with 8 days and over 6,000 kilometres to go, the competition is about to start for men such as Falcon driver Ian Vaughan.
Australia's going to be rough and tough, and we're looking forward to it. It's going to be the rough and toughest part of the event, and it's the part of the event that the Falcon's best designed for. So we're really looking forward to Australia.
What do you mean by rough and tough?
Well, the roads will be rough. They'll be dirt roads. We've been travelling on bitumen sealed roads largely up until now. So we'll be out in the rocks of the Nullarbor Plain, we'll be up in the Flinders Ranges, across the plains of Griffith, and then up through the Alps to Sydney. So it's going to be pretty fast and very hard on motor cars, and we expect the Falcon to come into its own as it did in 1968.
And of course the Aussies have been saying that this is where they're going to take off.
Well, there's a bit of a trend that way. Last time I was here 25 years ago, I was placed 11th, and we moved up from 11th to 3rd. This time we placed 7th, so we think the arithmetic looks pretty good this time too.
There you go. What's your name? Peter. There you go. All right.
She's there, but we line up.
In Fremantle, the marathon has the luxury of a rest day. A rest day, time for people like veteran rallyman Patrick Vincent to reflect.
Well, up to now it's been the easy part, I think. We've done, 9,912 kilometers or something, and we're lying 19th, but there's only about 10 minutes between the first 20, you know. The guy, Evan Green, whom you know very well, who is one place in front of us, the 18th position, is 1 second, is 1 second in front of us. And Bar Smith and the others are 5 seconds, 30 seconds. Now, I think that in Australia, with 1,100 kilometers of special stages, probably quite tough. I think the seconds will disappear and it'll turn into minutes and hours and whatever we hope.
What have you done for clearance to sort of, have you got it up much?
We both went on a dart before we...
Yeah, that does help, doesn't it?
It's up as much as it'll go, but that's on tyres and springs.
Yeah.
There's not much else.
And you've had a fairly trouble-free run?
Yeah, reasonably. Yeah.
Good one.
A few interesting moments.
I'll bet you have. I bet you can tell some stories.
Oh yeah, and can you get, Dave, can you get a cartridge of grease?
Rest day, only kidding. There's always work to be done. The Morgan team have found a local garage. And what are the Brits going to make of the outback?
You believe the Australians, the 25-foot kangaroos, wallabies the size of tanks. Oh. I mean, I did 90,000 miles in a year here 25 years ago, out in the bush, and we never had any problems, and the roads were good.
So it's all talk, do you think?
I think so, yeah. A lot of psychological warfare going on. And today, down at Fremantle, I was chatting to the locals, and they all said, yeah, the roads are great. I think we've been wound up something rotten. But we'll see, you know, I could yet be proved wrong. This stage tomorrow will be the kind of first indication. It's going to be tough, definitely, but I don't think it's going to be quite as bad as they're making out somehow.
We'll see. The waters in Fremantle Harbour look calm enough, that's for sure. The rally route, though, a different thing. Francis Tuthill and Anthony Showell set off on the Australian leg as leaders, ahead by just 8 seconds. 3 stages, Mundarin, Dryandra and Nika Road on day 1, 102 kilometres. In second place, Graham Lorimer and Gary Smith, who'd taken the lead on day 1 back in England. Behind them, Colin Short, Jenny Brittan, Sandy Dalgarno, Norbert Weisenbeek, Ian Vaughan, Max Harvey, Steve Ashton and Rowan Quill. Out of the top 10, but ready and waiting to charge, Roger Clark and Tony Moy back up to 12th position. But the rally, the marathon, is still wide open. There's no telling what lies around the corner on the forest tracks. And for some, such as Bruce Stapleton and Douglas Morris, it's trouble. And is the lead about to change as the marathon hits the waterholes on the road to Esperance? Tuthill and Showell save themselves by using the film crew car. Do we hear 3 cheers? The Australian technique is top speed. But try telling that to the Halls. They said it was going to be tough, and they're right. Some country Australia, Evan Green, who's competing with his son Gavin, knows it better than most, so he's our tour guide.
Well, it's big, and that's the overwhelming impression. I mean, it's a country of enormous size and sparse population. Coming out of India, the contrast couldn't have been greater. You're driving out of Perth, suddenly within 5 kilometres there's bush. You go to little towns where people sit on their chairs, which is very Australian. They all wave, and I felt really at home when I saw that. And then we followed a route which I think really was a microcosm of Australian scenery. We didn't get into the real outback up north where you can perish. I'm glad we didn't. Hard country with roots and rocks and other things to damage cars. But you know, a good introduction to a vast belt of Australia covered in this scrubland. And then the Nullarbor with the emptiness and the great spaces and the clean air and the brilliant skies. The Flinders Ranges, which are probably my favourite part of Australia. Those raw elemental mountains, not high, scrubbed down by millions of years and with ridges of rock showing out like the ramparts of a ruined fortress. Wonderful country, and that air and the dust on the roads and the gum trees, the lovely salmon gums and the white bark of the ghost gum, the creek crossings which are perpetually dry. You know, you say, here's a river, and people say, you know, it's sand. You know, you say, well, that's an Australian river. You know, our rivers are back to front. They start with water and end up with nothing. In the rest of the world, they start with nothing and build up, but we're a back to front country. Come to Australia and you'll see everything.
Amongst the casualties on day one is Andrew Cowan. His night in Esperance is spent in the workshop.
Too long and now it's too damn short.
I'm amazed how rough it is and how difficult it is. The organisers did say there would be a bit of a sting in the tail, but if people don't sort of behave themselves and pace themselves, they won't get to Sydney. I mean, certainly on today's standards, the roads are going to be difficult.
The fifth one. First car, 9:30. From here. 9:30? Yeah. That's past 9? Yeah. Past 9. Another 9 tomorrow morning. Thank you. I don't believe it. I wasn't sure. We're going soft on you. Thank you very much. See you later. Okay. Bye.
In the hotel laundry, the red shirts are in full spin, and John Horton, as ever, has the latest news.
About 25 kilometres into the 55k stage, he saw the boot spring open and out disappeared his 2 brand new sleeping bags into the path of an oncoming car. His remark to me tonight at the in control was, "Do you think somebody will hand them in?"
Oh, I like it.
I said the likelihood is yes, but the answer is whether serviceable, I think it's very doubtful. But that has to be the hard luck story of today.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Day 2, Tuthill leads the drive north. On the pipeline stage, he's racing against the emus. Next stop, Kalgoorlie. They struck gold here in 1893. 100 years on from the gold rush comes the charge of the London to Sydney Motor Marathon. They're closing the streets for a really special stage. And the townspeople can't wait.
Martin, Craig, I want you on the pump when something happens.
Greg, you'll be driving. Brian, I want you on the first extinguisher, you on the next extinguisher. Mark and I will go in on the patient if there's anything happening. Okay, we've got that?
SES. Which section are you at?
In charge is Ernie Stokes.
Quarter Street and Egan Street.
20 people, please come forward for this lady. Come on, 20 bodies. 2.2 kilometres of full rally circuit. We hope it's going to be very well. Times and speeds I can't tell you. I won't tell you, I know what I went around.
Have you ever tried this before in Kalgoorlie?
No, not in Kalgoorlie. We have in Perth, and it's been a great success with Rally Australia. This is the first time in Kalgoorlie.
And how are you going to keep all the people off the street?
By marshals, we hope.
Well, I think it's going to be a fantastic effort. They've put a lot of effort into getting the stage ready. I only hope we can get it running properly.
It's something special though, isn't it, round
It's
the street?
something very special. It's to celebrate their centenary, 100 years of Kalgoorlie, and that's tied up very nicely with our 25th anniversary event.
Is it going to be fast, you think?
I think it's going to be very fast and could be quite hairy, I think.
That's what Les Needham, the clerk of the course, thinks. So, how about the drivers?
Well, it's new, isn't it? I've never done this before. Surely going to take an hour or two to get the people onto the footpaths or certainly off the road, but it'll be interesting.
What's the technique, do you think, here?
I don't know, they're fine wide open streets. I think it'll be great fun.
Swing it around the corners and...
Plenty of spectators. Yeah, I think on the gravel tyres there'll be lots of oversteer. Quite spectacular.
I think it's amazing. They've done a great job and there's obviously a really good turnout for it, so it should be good fun, I think.
Have you been this way before?
No, I've worked in the Northern Territory, but I've never come across this way before, so it's good to see. I've never seen anything like it. It's great.
Are you going to go in behind the wheel of this one, are you?
Yeah, my turn to have a drive, so hopefully I won't bend it.
So what's the tactics here?
I think just go like crest. I don't know, not sure.
It's got to be good. It has to be good.
Is this where you come into your own? Is it race?
Oh, I wouldn't say that. I've been to Bathurst and places like that a couple of times, but your street circuit's done them and love them, but we're a slightly slick engine at the moment, so we've got to be a little bit careful, get it through this, and then we're off to service it.
This is like Monte Carlo, isn't it?
It is. The Monte of the South, perhaps. No, it's great.
What's the tactics here?
Oh, I mean, I think in a stage like this, you can lose so much and gain so little, so awfully big Caterpillar tractor tyres down there do a hell of a lot of damage very, very easily.
Some big buildings
so
as well.
Keep away from all the scenery and all those sorts of things, and try not to lose too much, but I don't think you gain a lot on these stages. They're great fun, great for the people to come out and see, and looks like a great turnout here tonight.
Kalgoorlie is having a ball, a barbie. So, on with the show. Fastest on the streets, the Morgan of Morrison Stapleton.
They told me that they were one of these tin sheds with all the girls in at the end, so I thought I'd better get there quickly.
Don't worry about fastest time, it's about a gold nugget. Just struck gold in Kalgoorlie, yeah?
Absolutely, yes. Well, we've had a few problems in the last couple of days, and we've taken a big loss big step down the field, so it's good to show that it's still going well. Yeah.
You decided to go for it tonight, did you?
Well, it's been good fun here. I mean, this is great. Around a street circuit on a good surface, suits the car really well, and the gearing of it was just right for these little short straights.
A lot of people on the streets cheering you on as
Yeah,
well?
great fun, great. I mean, good party atmosphere. I hear there's a barbecue up the road, so we're off there now. Have a couple of tubes, mate. We got a fax this morning from Mr. Ron Dennis. Third results of Kalgoorlie Street special stage. Senna not that quick in Spanish Grand Prix. Needs seriously fast driving for Silverstone. Write your own contract. Reply by return. Dennis.
There's a few pit stops on day 3. 246 kilometres of special stage at Xanthus. Big problems.
What happened? We had a puncture, Francis. And
Where
then we
did you
took a
hide
wrong
and
road.
change it?
Eh?
Where did you hide and change it?
In the airfield, we changed it. Had a starter motor lead fall off, fixed
Oh.
that, and still got going.
Well done.
So, what did we lose to you? A minute? Minute and a half?
Barely that. Well, you did extremely well.
What did you have a puncture?
We had a puncture too. Front left. What a stage.
It's a long way. Are you sure this is the right way to Sydney, though? I'm not convinced.
There are these damn great stubby things. You see 90% of them, but you simply don't see the others. God, what a stage. That's what we came for, isn't it? This is the first real bit of tough running. To get through here without problems is very significant. We had a problem.
They say the rally could be won today.
Oh, rally can be won on the last day. Very last day.
Must have caught a bumper on a bush or something, that's all. No damage otherwise, we haven't hit anything. A few cars have, been a lot of cars off and with punctures, and it's the tree roots that cause the punctures. Where they hack through the bush, you get an old tree stump with a little bush growing out of it, and you just touch it and, you know, one puncture. Fantastic stage though, but we're dry petrol. We're just faltering at the last half mile, so we've only just got here.
The first real casualty, Dave Thomas and Jenny Brittan. They were lying in third spot.
We had two punctures.
Punctures?
And then we lost the clutch and I've had to push him out of it.
Well, we're still alive.
Filthy.
There are problems too for the kitchen sink team. It looks as though it's time to call for a plumber.
Big off. Big off.
You've lost your
Just
top.
lost it very gently round the right-hander. Come round, just took off into a tree.
You all right?
Yeah. We knocked the tree down.
Where's the sink?
Right.
You've lost it.
We've got to go.
Anybody want to buy a sink?
So where did you find that?
Oh, in the bush.
You don't find many kitchen
Well, it's a
sinks, do
Great
you?
Britain one. Hey, Ian, would you like your sink? We've got your sink, mate. Trust us. We'll take it home to the boys. We thought we'd bring it along for them.
Oh, lovely. Hey, Ross.
Thank you very
Thanks,
much.
Ross.
Excellent.
Still the tap's a bit bent.
Yeah, is it? Oh, is it leak?
Straighten the tap up.
Could be all right. Don't wash up in that moment.
It's a bit bent, but it'll
really crashed because this wasn't on the roof. This had been on the roof, it would have been all right.
There you go.
Howard, I've got to ask you, can you mend the sink in time for tomorrow?
It's a similar state to the car. No, it'll have to go as it is at the moment. We'll maybe lose a bit of time, but anyway, not to worry. We'll get it strapped on somehow.
We won't charge you much cardage,
What?
but a beer would be nice.
We'll do that for you. Thanks, Ross.
What did you hit? Tell me what you hit.
It's a kangaroo.
Kangaroo.
Kangaroo. Grande kangaroo.
There's no going back now, and not that far to go. Out of Eucla, it's on to the old dirt highways. This is the way they used to cross the Nullarbor. It's amazing the people you meet on the Marathon Road. Here we are in the middle of nowhere, just before the start of the special stage at Thurlga. And who should we bump into on the corner?
I'm Skinner Wilson from Streaky Bay, an electrician from Streaky Bay. And we're that keen on this that we've been to the 68, the original one. We were at the Ceduna checkpoint. That's how I come by that drum. I ended up with about 3 of them from that event.
So 25 years ago, you saw all these old cars come
That's
through,
the
yeah?
same cars.
Yeah. What's it
And-
like seeing them again today, then?
Well, I reckon it was good to see Cowan and that original Hillman. I reckon it was real good.
You've been waiting a long time for this, have you?
My word. Well, we're 65 years old this month, and I've worked it out. I won't see another 25. I won't see another one of these.
Day 5, Port Augusta to Broken Hill. 4 stages, no change in the top 2, but Steve Ashton and his wife Ro have moved up into 3rd. They're 14 minutes behind Tuthill. Laurie Beecham is quickest on the first run of the day. Luckiest, Jenny Brittan and Dave Thomas.
Right, there's nobody moving in there.
Fire extinguisher!
Between us.
I think we go that way.
I just get away from the car.
Away from the hill.
You're all right. Lift him, please. Gently. You will off from the car.
On your radio, we're near
Okay.
Yeah, does anybody know anything about doctors? On your radio.
Get his helmet off.
I was standing in front of the tree and the second car come over the hill and slipped must have hit his brakes, I believe. Hit the cul-de-sac, hit the tree about 5 foot up, maybe more, clipped the tree here, and I just remember getting the lady out of the car, and that's about it at the time. Scared the shit out of me.
Could do.
And my daughter was sitting with the mate from Cross.
And you went down into a gully, and you got a wheel, right just after, starting from this line, you got a wheel actually in the gully which flicked you into the trees. But don't think we're going to be able to get the car ready for you to carry on now. I think you got in the dust. You just missed. You're all right.
Jenny Brittan is right. She has 7 cracked ribs. Dave Thomas is dazed.
I don't remember the stage, let alone the accident, so, but I've definitely done a job of it, so no doubt someone will tell me in due course and we'll go from there.
How are you? You all right?
A bit stiff and sore and all the rest of it. More worried about Jenny. She's I can hear her giving instructions, so that's probably a good sign. She's back to her normal self now. I'm probably a bit dazed to try and give you too much.
Around the corner is another victim. Ian Mitchell rolls off.
Is this all worth it? People crashing and bumping and banging and...
You tell me. I mean, I'll tell you that when I've recovered my senses this afternoon. I'm just very angry with myself at the moment. I mean, Dave is going to be giving me a hard time. I mean, I should never have done this on a road section. Shouldn't have done it at all. We've got a problem now because it looks as though I've smashed that left side steering. We're going to have to take these 2 next stages pretty slowly and try and repair it tonight.
Make Sydney?
Oh, we'll make Sydney, but at the point I wanted to get in the top 10 before Sydney, and we were well on the way to that.
You've got to get there in one piece, that's the main thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Should it be crossed over? Does it lean over a bit, the engine, anyway?
Across the Flinders, it's some drive. Time to take in the breathtaking scenery. There's no need to hurry, but there are bonus marks to be won.
So tell us, what are the scores all about?
What the score's about? Well, we like to see them go through the water and really cover themselves in water. And preferably like to see them go over the edge.
What's the top score so far?
7.
7.
It's 10 out of 10, though, for the Yellow Submarine.
Oh, it's wonderful, mate. We went down and we surfaced and beat 3 cars through the water. We were going to torpedo a couple, but we moved up a few spots. Didn't have to do that.
You built a machine for that, did you, especially?
That's what it's for. It just wallers along. Didn't you see it waller past you?
In Broken Hill, Tuthill leads by a staggering 14 minutes and 49 seconds. Lorimer is in second, chasing him is Ian Vaughan. Laurie Beecham's going well, and Mike Kirkland is up to 5th. From Broken Hill, it's to Wangaratta with lunch, yes, lunch, at Gunbar.
There you go. All right, fellas, see you all later.
See you, you going now?
Want one?
Going now.
Yeah, this is a small pen you got.
25 years ago, the first marathon stopped here for their first hot meal in days. And sure enough, the locals have done the marathon proud again. In charge is Meg Makepeace. She was here in '68.
It's great to see you again, my dear, after all these years. I suppose you have a few grandchildren now.
Yes, there's one of them there.
And me looking great, yeah? And I got married as well.
Right.
Do you see any old familiar faces?
No, not yet.
Great.
There's a
Yeah.
few about.
Well, I think the population of Gunbar has increased a wee bit since we were
Yes,
here.
yes,
But
that's
the roads
right.
are a little bit better.
Yes.
And the food you laid on today is fabulous.
Yes, well,
And
that's
thank-
what we were hoping you'd come back and enjoy our meal with us. We
Well,
were
I must
delighted.
say-
It's nostalgia for us to have you all back here too.
All the ladies have put on a fantastic show, and we really appreciate it. I may say that on behalf of all the drivers.
Right, thank you very much.
Great.
Yes, we're delighted to do it.
So what's on the menu? Roast lamb, roast potatoes. They've been baking cakes for days too. Thanks, Gunbar.
Great.
The last stage is by bonfire and moonlight. Only one change in the top 10. Ian Vaughan is up to 2nd.
Yeah, this is something that's Japanese, isn't it? Yes, that's natural.
Day 7. It's snowing. Snow in Australia. This is the London to Sydney Marathon. Remember, the adventure of a lifetime. It's snow chains all round, and then a slip and a slide over Mount Hotham. Some are used to the conditions, but some, such as the Kenyans, have never seen snow before.
I'm not getting out. Mike Kirkland.
Yes.
What did you think of the snow today?
Well, I've never been near snow before, never mind driven a car on it, so it was a new experience for me. I don't know whether it was ice or snow, but there's something hell of a slippery underneath all that, and I didn't enjoy it because I never knew what was going to happen next.
Bit different from Africa and the heat and the sand and...
Yeah, can't get out of the car, it's so damn cold. Every time I get out I freeze to death.
So Francis Tuthill, 1 day to go. Can you see the finishing post?
Not yet. It can't be far away though, can it? We've been on tender hooks for the last couple of days. Had a very sensible run today, and somebody gave me the advice yesterday to win slowly. So we are trying to do just that.
You've had quite a challenge today. You've had snow, ice, sleet, you've had everything.
Yeah, it's jolly difficult to win slowly. It was jolly hard to win anyway. It's had a really difficult today's rallying. A lot of snow, long stages, and long day.
What have the conditions been like?
Oh, really, really bad. Treacherous. The snow was, we hadn't got suitable tyres, and it was fresh snow. One car tracked through in front of us. And in fact, we were overhauled by some more enthusiastic people, so we let them get on and do the business. Roger Clark had a good day today. You talked to him about it.
So Roger, you felt at home this morning, did you?
Yes, it's much more like England. Dirty, wet forests and snow everywhere. It's good fun, good motoring.
Did you expect snow when you came on this?
We were told that we might have it, yes, and we got it.
Were you laughing at the Aussies because some of those haven't seen snow before? And
Yeah, they were talking about the only thing to do with ice is putting your drink.
Sunday, May the 16th, 1993. The last day, the last stage, the first car. Francis Tuthill and Anthony Shull.
Well done.
Well done, Francis. Super.
Okay. You move ahead first.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks.
Fabulous stage.
Very, very happy.
Well done.
Well done, Les. Thanks a lot. Fabulous.
Second, Ian Vaughan and Barry Lake.
Well done. Not quite as good as you wanted, mate, but it was pretty bloody good. Well done.
Well done.
Super. Well done.
Sydney awaits. The marathon is almost over. 12,500 miles, 30 days. England, France, Belgium, Germany, Austria, Slovakia, Hungary, Romania, Bulgaria, Turkey, India, and now Australia.
Winners of the 1993 Lombard London-Sydney Marathon. Look at the smiles on their faces. Give it to them. Let's have that applause. Come on, I can hardly hear you. Let's have some yells, some cheers. Not everybody drives from London to Sydney and beats 100 other crews. Always got to be a bit careful with this shit. Now, you're not going to get very good pictures now, mind your cameras, boys.
Well, we came here in 77 and we were 35th. Now we're first and it's fantastic.
Can you believe it?
No, not really. I mean, we knew it was possible and now we're really here. It is unbelievable.
And Anthony, tell me, what sort of journey has it been?
Oh, it's been fantastic. Being at the front's been a great morale booster. We've been lucky to be at the front since the end of Turkey. We started with 8 seconds lead and we had that for a few days, and to finish with a 12-minute lead is just fantastic.
30 days, 12,500 miles. How are you? How's the machine?
I think the machine's in better condition than me, actually. Very frayed nerves. The last 3 days have been particularly touchy. But the car's fine, we're fine. We're thinking what to do next, really.
Amongst the casualties towards the end are Laurie Beecham. Mike Kirkland finishes third, Roger Clark fourth. Graham Lorimer is fifth, then it's Colin Short, David Horsey, Bruce Hodgson, the Rainsfords and Steve Ashton. 86 have made it, including Bronco Billy.
So David Hall. Bronco lives. You must have spent 12,500 miles and 30 days repairing the car.
No, we actually had 4 or 5 days, and we did not a lot. So that makes about 26 days working on the car. I'd never been under a car since I was at university.
Time to say hello again. But it's time to wave goodbye to the Lombard London to Sydney Car Marathon.
It's been a long and hard journey, but now we're here, it's worthwhile.
I have never been so choked in all my life. It's fantastic.
This is rallying. You know, get into the muck, work hard, have fun, throw it around, meet the locals, you know, get into trouble, get out of trouble, right?
Wir haben gerade gesagt, wir haben uns überhaupt nicht gestritten, wir haben uns gut verstanden die ganzen 4 Wochen. Das ist sehr ungewöhnlich.
Besser als zu Hause.
what's kept you going?
If you like to linger where it's shady, ukulele lady linger too.
She's a dynamite navigator.
If you kiss a ukulele lady and she promises to be true.
I have seen more innovation, more determination than I've ever seen in my life from the people. The admiration for all these people is just tenfold.
Long, hard road. Next time we fly.
We had a great time. That's what we did. We had a super time. It was great fun, and we really enjoyed it.
Actually, it was fantastic fun.
We'd do it again.
Yeah, an event for complete idiots.
We're related to like banging your head against the wall. You know, when it stops, it's really good. So it's really good now, but it's been very, very hard. It really has been hard.
I'm a young boy again, you know. I'm doing what I did 25 years ago and enjoyed it, and I've done it again. And if they do it in 25 years' time, I doubt how I should do it, but if I were around, I'd certainly like to have a go at it.
The year 2018 is the objective. I'll be a little long in the tooth, but the car will be ready to run again. It's only just run in, really.
The whole thing has just been one huge, exciting adventure.
"30 days working with the team of guys that put this whole thing together has been a tremendous experience. Delighted that we've achieved our ambition, and rather sad that today I become a civilian.
It really is an event that seems to weld people together and make them realise the world isn't a bad place, and that all people have very common feelings, and they love adventure and they love people who take part in it, which is why I think we got such a great reception.